Oh my god, we have a cover. I had not seen. That's gorgeous. Wow. I am so excited. I am so excited. There were sparks flying left and right. I cannot wait. I am so excited. If you can't see it, I am so excited. Wow, 20 years ago. 2005 was 20 years ago now. Let's take a minute to absorb that fact. Okay, not absorbed. That's fine. This is a judgment-free zone, right? Hello my lovely readers and queers, welcome back to my channel for another 12 Days of Booksmas video. I am Franny and today I would absolutely love to share with you my most anticipated new releases of 2025. Can you believe that it's almost 2025? That's absurd. And I have to stress that this is by no means a complete list of all the books coming out in 2025 that are currently on my radar, because that list as of now is counting 50 titles, which is more than half of what I usually read in a year. So that's already impossible to cover if you really think about it. And I will tell you what those books are in 2025, season by season. But for this video, I made a very curated selection. These are the books, right? The books that I am for sure going to read in 2025, that I will read as soon as they come out, books that are written by authors that I'm aware of, books that are part of a series, books that I am truly highly anticipating, books that are at the top of my priority list. So I have 9 books to gush about in this video, and there's 2 more for which I do not have a release date yet, but they should hopefully be coming out, and I am highly anticipating them, so I will be mentioning them because they deserve to be mentioned. That said, I think that's enough of a preamble, so let's start talking about these books. I'm gonna go in a chronological order of release date. So we are starting with So Not My Type. This is the 3rd book in the Single in Seattle companion novel series by Dana Hawkins. This is a companion novel series of sapphic romance, and they're so good. These books are so good, and Dana Hawkins is such an underrated romance author, and that's a crime, and things need to change. I have read and really enjoyed the previous 2 books in this series, which were In Book Trouble, that was the second one, and the first one was Not in the Plan. Not in the Plan was actually my favorite as of yet, and I listened to the audiobooks of these books in this series, and I would love to listen to the audiobook of the 3rd one as well. But as of now, I do not know when the audiobook is going to be released, which I don't like, because for the second one, I had to wait a couple of months for the audiobook to be released, and I do not know who the narrator is going to be. So I need this information ASAP. I have not read the synopsis for So Not My Type. It's a sapphic romance. That's really all I need to know. And I know that Dana Hawkins can deliver. Moving on to January 21st, we have The Proposal by Sonora Reyes. And I've listened to the audiobook actually of the Luis Ortega Survival Club by Sonora Reyes, and I really loved that book. It was so good. That one was a queer YA contemporary. This one is an adult queer contemporary where we have 2 friends, perhaps best friends, who enter in a marriage of convenience to save one of them from deportation. A marriage of convenience together with fake dating, which is sort of a fake dating, right? The marriage of convenience. And also the forced proximity. These are tropes that I love in romance books. They're my kryptonite. I just love them so much when they're well done, and I know that Sonora Reyes can pull this off. And just like I did for the Luis Ortega Survival Club, I am going to listen to the audiobook of this one because it is going to be narrated by Andres Santana and Alejandro Antonio Ruiz. The last name I am not familiar with, but Andres Santana is a very good audiobook narrator, and I cannot wait. I am so so excited for this one. Considering what their previous book did to me, I think this is not going to hold back from pulling any punches. Then coming out on January 28th, we have We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen. Saying that I loved Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead is a very big understatement. That book just destroyed me. I loved it so much. I loved the story. I loved the characters. There were so many quotes that I read and underlined because they were so good. And for that one, I listened to the audiobook narrated by Emily Tremaine. She was absolutely incredible. For this one, I am not so sure about the narrator, so I think I will read the actual book, but I am so excited. Again, I haven't read the synopsis of these. I should apologize because I haven't read the synopsis. I will put it as a disclaimer. I have not read the synopsis of almost any of these books. I am basing my decision to read them according to the fact that I'm aware of these authors' works. I've read other books by these authors and I know that I'm going to love their books, and that's why these books are on this list. I have yet to read her sophomore novel, which was Interesting Facts About Space, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't read that one yet. I should. But at this point, I think I'm going to read We Could Be Rats first and then go back to read Interesting Facts About Space. I think that's what I'm going to do. I want to be caught up with the new release and then I'll go back to, her backlist. And that's fine. That's fine. This is a judgment-free zone, right? Okay. On February 4th, right, we have Dead in the Frame by Stephen Spotswood. Now, this is the 5th book in the Pentecost and Parker mystery series. I have talked about these books before. I try to mention them and praise them at every chance that I get. This is a queer historical fiction mystery series set in New York in the 1940s, and we are following a very famous detective, Lady Pentecost, and her assistant, Will Parker, as they investigate crimes. And I love this series so much. First of all, because the cases are so interesting and the investigation process as well is so engaging, and it really sucks you in and you don't want to stop reading because you want to know, what the next clue is going to be, who the next person of interest is going to be. And apart from the two main protagonists, the two detectives, you have a bunch of secondary characters that keep reappearing throughout the series in the different books. And it just feels like watching a crime TV show, right? Where every time a book is released, it's like a new season coming out. And something else I love about this series is just the way it's written, the tone. It really feels like a historical fiction book. It really feels like you're in New York in the 1940s. It has that vibe, the way the characters speak, the way the story is narrated. It just feels like a crime fiction from that time. There are references to events and institutions that were around in the 1940s, so Stephen Spotswood definitely did his job and his research for writing these books, and I think he was a journalist or something, so he's a qualified person, right, to write these books, and I just love them so much. They're so underrated for what they are, and that's a crime. I don't like it. I really don't like it. So the 5th book is coming out. If I haven't convinced you, just give it a try, and you will see that you will want to binge the whole series. And we are at the 5th book coming out, so you have, seasons to keep you entertained. Then we move on to March with To You at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. Now, this is the 3rd book in the Tomes and Tea series, and I've only read the first book. And that is because the second one, which has something to do with pirates, I want to read in the summer. And then this one, To You at the Altar, I already know I will keep for the end of the year because, as I've said, altar, wedding, I just associate that with December because that's when I got married. So I've already decided when I'm going to read this book, and I will try to resist and do my best. But the first book in this series, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, was I mean, it was incredible. It was the definition of cozy fantasy series where it is so cozy, but you're not sacrificing the fantasy and the adventure too much. It was like the perfect combo, the perfect balance for me, and I haven't encountered that yet in any other book. I loved the characters, I loved the story, I loved the fantasy, I loved the adventure, and the narrator, Jessica Threet, she was so good. Such a good performance. I cannot wait. I am so excited to read the second book, and I'm so excited for the third one to come out, and I am so excited. If you can't see it, I am so excited, and I wanted to mention it. Even if I have yet to read the second one, I know that it's not going to disappoint. I know that I'm going to love it, and I already wanted to shout out the third one coming out on March 4th. Then on March 11th, we have a book that I will read as soon as it comes out. I am so excited. I am so excited. That book is Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Rush. Now, I went on a bit of a, I don't want to say rant, maybe I was gushing, right? I was really gushing about the first installment in this series and its audiobook. Specifically, the first book in this series was called The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was narrated by Ellis, now I think of Pete, because that's the actual narrator's name, but he used a pseudonym for his audiobooks. Ellis Evans, okay, Ellis Evans. So The Nightmare Before Christmas was the first book in the Royals and Romance companion novel series, where we are following royalty from the main festivities and holidays. So in Nightmare Before Christmas, we were following the Prince of Christmas and the Prince of Halloween. And in the second one, I think we're following Cole's brother, so the other Prince of Christmas, and someone who I guess is has something to do with St. Patrick's Day. I mean, looking at the cover, it has to be St. Patrick's Day. Yes, sorry. So in this second installment, we are following the spare prince of Christmas with the crown prince of St. Patrick's Day. I'm guessing they're going to fall in love. You guys, I loved The Nightmare Before Christmas. I loved the audiobook. It was so good, such a great performance. It was so steamy, so hot, so romantic. The banter, the dialogue, there were sparks flying left and right, and I'm expecting the same, if not as much, from the second book. The narrator is different, and we already have their name, Dylan Fitzpatrick, and I listened to like their narrating voice, like a sample on their Instagram account, and they have such an incredible voice. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I am here. I will be ready with a cold shower at hand. That's not true. I don't like cold showers, but you know what I mean, right? So I am so excited. And this one I will pick up as soon as it comes out because it'll be the right time, and I cannot wait. I'm just so excited. Next up, we have Cover Story by Celia Lasky. This one is coming out on March 25th. I read So Happy For You, I think that was the title, by this author. Well, I listened to the audiobook actually, which was narrated by Kristen C. So of course, I was gonna go with the audiobook for that one. It was a sort of dark humor, contemporary queer fiction, and it was so weird, so crazy, so messed up, and I loved that so much. We were following two women that used to be super close friends, and then they kind of grew apart a little bit, and then one of them is getting married, and she asks the main character to be part of her wedding party, to be one of the bridesmaids. The main character is kind of hesitant because their relationship was weird, a little bit toxic perhaps, but then she caves in and she decides to join the wedding party, but then things get crazier and crazier, and there's like weird rituals and blood and things to kind of prove loyalty to the bride who is becoming a bridezilla. It was crazy, but I loved it so much. This one though is completely different, so I don't know why I went on a tangent there. This is just a sapphic romance contemporary novel. We are following a publicist who's tasked with keeping an extremely gay starlet in the closet. It is set in 2005, so different times. I mean, now things are very different, but still, it is, wow, 20 years ago. 2005 was 20 years ago now. Let's take a minute to absorb that fact. Okay, not absorbed, but yes, it's a sapphic romance, and I hope that Kristen C will be the one narrating the audiobook again, because that would just make it perfect. I just love when Kristen C narrates queer characters. She does such a good job, you know, and I'm excited. I'm so excited. Moving on to April. So coming out on April 8th, we have The Maid's Secret by Nita Prose. And this one I'm also so excited for, because it is the third book in the Molly the Maid series, and I have read and loved The Maid, which was the first one, and The Mystery Guest, which was the second one. And I've also read the short novella that was released. I listened to all of these as audiobooks, but I also listened to the short novella that was released in October for the Christmas time. It was a Christmas themed novella called The Mistletoe Mystery. It was adorable. It was like 2 hours long, but it was so cute. It was kind of mysterious, but also very sweet, filled with Christmas spirit, and I really enjoyed it. It kind of went in a direction that did not agree, I want to say, with my conspiracy theory. Well, it was not a conspiracy theory. If you go and watch my video where I talked about the second book in the series, I went on a whole rant about how Molly and Manuel, her love interest, don't really have chemistry, and so I wanted Molly to turn out to be bisexual or queer or whatever, and fall in love with the detective that was investigating the cases of the murders that were happening in the books. And without spoiling anything, I will just say here that what happens in the Christmas novella kind of flashes down the toilet all the trend. But it's fine. It's fine. Nothing to do with the books and the stories themselves. But let's stay on track. As I was saying, the third one is coming out in April, on April 8th, and this is about a heist taking place at the Regency Grand. And I love me some books with heists, so I cannot wait. I am so excited. I will listen to the audiobook of this one as well, as I have for all the previous books in this series. They're narrated by Lauren Ambrose, and I just think she perfectly captured the essence of Molly, the main character. When I listen to her voice, I just picture Molly as a fully fleshed out character who is talking to me and narrating her story, and I love when that happens with the audiobook, so I cannot wait. Oh my god, we have a cover. I had not seen. That's gorgeous. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. Last time I checked the release date for this book, it did not have a cover yet. And now it does. And it's creepy as fuck. I cannot wait. Oh my god, I am so excited. So, the last book that I want to gush about in this video, for which we have a hopefully certain release date, is Human Rights by Juno Dawson, and you can now see the stunning cover of this book. I don't even know what to say. This series is so good, so good, and it has been a journey. I love the characters in the story. I love the story itself. I love the pacing. I love all the freaking plot twists that Juno Dawson keeps throwing at us at every single chapter. And all of those cannot even compare with what she does at the ending, because each book ends on such an out of this world cliffhanger. This is going to be the conclusion, and the way things were left off in the second book, I am looking forward to and dreading reading this book at the same time, because I am scared. I am scared of what's gonna happen, but I also cannot wait. It's a very tough position to be in. My feelings are all over the place. It is a super queer, super diverse urban fantasy series featuring witches. It is an incredible commentary of our society. It is an action-packed story. It has magic. It has incredible characters. It's perfect, okay? It's perfect. And the audiobooks are narrated by the one and only Nicola Coughlan, so I am just ready. I will probably read it in the fall though, not July, not summer. I will keep it for the fall, but I just cannot wait. I cannot wait. And now we are in the foggy territory, because these books do not have release dates. Well, one of them doesn't, the other one does, but I do not believe it, because I have been tricked before and I am not gonna fall for it again. Until I see a cover, until I see something official, I do not believe you. You lied to me before, and that was not nice. The book I'm talking about is Skybriar by Talia Hibbert. This is the first book in a new contemporary series that is Austen inspired, and I love Talia Hibbert's writing. I feel like she is such a talented author, and she takes the romance genre to another level. That's what she does. Her Brown Sisters trilogy was fantastic. Each book was better than the previous one, but they're all great. So it's impossible to choose. They're impossible to rank. Well, actually, Eve Brown was my favorite, without a doubt, because I loved Eve way too much. They're not queer. That's the only thing that I don't like. They're not queer. If they had been queer, they would have been perfection incarnate. But anyways, Skybriar was supposed to come out at the end of 2023, I think, at some point. Then it was pushed to 2024. Now, according to Goodreads, it has been pushed to August 15th, 2025. I do not believe it. I want to believe it. I want it to come out on August 15th, 2025, but I don't know. I can't be sure, okay? And that kills me inside. It just sucks. We do not have a cover yet. I don't know. I hope it's true, but I don't want to lie to myself anymore. And the other book should come out in 2025, but there's no release date on Goodreads, at least. And usually Goodreads is pretty updated with release dates, so we shall see. But I am talking about Volume 6. You know what's coming. Volume 6 of the Heartstopper graphic novel series. The fifth one was fantastic. It was perfect. It was everything I needed it to be. And I am so looking forward to the sixth volume. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it because it is going to be the last. I'm not ready to let go of these characters. I am not. My first tattoo will be Heartstopper themed, so that's what's happening. That's how much I love this series, and hopefully the tattoo is happening soon. But anyways, I love this series. I love the show. This sixth volume is going to be the end, and that is so sad and bittersweet, but I know it's going to be amazing, and I want it to come out soon. I'm just so looking forward to it. And this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if you are also highly anticipating the books that I've mentioned in this video, or let me know what you are highly anticipating that is coming out in 2025, because I would love to know. As I've said, perhaps your anticipated releases are on my longer list of all the things that are on my radar, because it's more than 50 books on there, but maybe they're not. And in that case, I would love to rectify that. Let me know in the comments down below what you are highly anticipating that is coming out in 2025, especially if it's queer. And that is it. I will see you very soon with another 12 Days of Booksmas video, but until then, have a good one, take care, and keep reading queer books. Warm hugs. Bye.